It's genuinely impressive how much of Hollywood just becomes a parody of itself. Because if I saw this story, I think it just started to become a parody. Like, oh yeah, every single movie now is having these massive budgets, everything. But this is legit. The Russo brothers, who are about to be making the Avengers movies, are about to release their own movie on Netflix coming out in March 2025. And you want to know how much the budget is? $320 million. Let's think about that one for a second. I genuinely don't know where this money is going. Who is spending all this much money on a film, which, by the way, not even going to release in theaters? So not only is Netflix spending $320 million, but they're also going to get none of it back because they decide that their movies don't need to be in theaters, that they can just release it all on the streaming service, and they can just burn money more that way. In case you can't tell, I do not like the way that Netflix releases its movies. I started to kind of develop a theory, and don't take this theory that like it's legitimate fact that I'm saying that this is actually what's going on. This is just me just coming up with this idea all on my own. But I fully believe the reason why these budgets are so big is one, all the studio execs and actors and directors and producers, all of them, they're just taking in a lot of this money for themselves. Not all $200 million of it, but a lot of money is just going to them. But that's not the biggest part. The biggest part is I really do believe that these big budget blockbusters are just doing things the easy way. And doing the things the easy way can oftentimes burn a lot of money. And I think these movies are just getting to the point where they aren't trying to cut as much money as possible, trying to cut every single corner to save the extra dollar. I believe that it's just getting to the point where like they just want to do things the easy way because they think now that these movies can make back its budget because superhero movies have been just $1 billion movies constantly. And so a lot of these budgets just start getting out of hand because they don't try to save as much money as possible. They're more just focused on just getting things done just the easiest way possible and however we want to do it. And that's my personal theory. Now, there could be stories about like why Ant-Man and the Wasp was $200 million, and there could be stories about that later on that prove me false, which most likely I probably am wrong. But at the very least, I think that it is a factor in it because there's legitimately no reason that a movie should ever be anywhere near $200 million, let alone not just $300 million, but $320 million. I really don't know what this plan is that Netflix is trying to do. Like, at any point when they were going way past $150 million and producing just more and more money on this, that they think that this would have ever been a good idea. Genuinely, one of the only times that maybe a tax write-off wouldn't have been a horrible idea just because the movie was not made, and that if they were going to continue making it, which that's what ended up happening, that they were just going to waste so much more money. And I will say this, I don't believe in the Russo brothers. I don't believe any project that they make outside of the Avengers movies, because don't get me wrong, Captain America, Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, some of the best Marvel movies ever made. But let's look at what they've done outside of Marvel after that. They did Cherry with Tom Holland. We all know how that ended. Then they did The Gray Man, which might genuinely be one of the worst produced Netflix films that they've ever done. And they spent a whole lot of money on that. And now you're telling me that I'm going to all of a sudden believe that this next movie they're releasing is going to be any good? No, it's not. I can tell you right now, I have no faith in this movie because I don't think they can make genuinely great films outside of Marvel. Why do you think they're coming back for Secret Invasion? Because the Marvel movies are what make them good. They're only as good as what Marvel can do. And I know they did stuff with Community and all that stuff. They had a great start to their career. But that's it. That's it. Community in the Marvel movies. I don't believe at all that they can genuinely produce a good movie until the day I actually see it. And I don't believe a movie that costs $320 million will be that movie that I actually believe in. But however, there is some good news to come out of this. So, Netflix has recently decided to reassess their film division because, honestly, how many good Netflix movies are produced a year? Not a whole lot. And so they decided to relook at the film division because they make great TV shows. Really, really good TV shows. But their movies are just one stinker after another. It's the reason why I've just given up on Netflix original movies. Because the odds are it's just going to be a terrible movie. So I don't even bother with it anymore. And this just certainly a lot of Netflix originals that come out that I just don't pay attention to at all. Like, the only good ones they ever make are the ones that they distributed, not even ones that they produced, like Hitman. That wasn't involved with Netflix at all until they decided to distribute it. And by the way, movie should have been on theaters. That would have been such a good experience. I'm getting off track. The point is, Netflix is reassessing their film division, and one of the biggest reasons why, maybe not the biggest reason, but one of the reasons why, is because of films like this that people thought it was a good idea to, I don't know, let's invest $300 million into a movie that's not going to play in a single theater. And that is a good thing because I feel like Netflix has been having a massive problem with its movies, and it's time to finally make a change. And these changes are needed. This is just going to be a product of the old Netflix, the film division. Again, this is not going to be a good movie. I can tell you that. There's no reason to have any faith in this, and I think it is good that at the very least this might have been one of the last straws that broke the camel's back and decided that Netflix needs to just restart on what they're doing with movies because it has not been good at all. Now, with all that being said, maybe this movie could be good. Maybe this could actually turn into something really good. But I don't believe that it will. And if the Russo brothers do make a movie that ends up being good, I'll change my mind about them. Maybe they do, in fact, have some good movies in that tank of theirs, and they can start maybe making some better films. But until that day comes, I will never have a faith in a single movie they make outside of Marvel. I don't think they have any chance at making good movies just because all of the movies that they've have done, they're just so insanely bad. They're bad movies. Like, it's just the picture, just the face of what makes a movie bad. You just take movies like The Gray Man, a blockbuster film that is the exact type of blockbuster I hate. The exact type of film that we need to see less of in Hollywood. And they still are just being able to be making these giant budget movies that I have no faith in. But that's my rant over. What do you think of it? I mean, do you agree with me, disagree with me? I'd love to hear all your comments down below. And I mean, if you enjoyed this video, want to see more news updates as well as other videos like this, maybe some video essays, movie reviews, all that type of stuff. I mean, like and subscribe and share the video, show all your support because I really greatly appreciate it. And that's really it. I mean, the Russo brothers are a really interesting couple of filmmakers that deserve to have their own deep dive conversation in and of themselves. But maybe that's a video for another time. But I mean, until next time, it's movie talk. See ya.